Good morning to you. First thing on the agenda this morning is golf. And we're here at golf because Tracy has set a goal this year to... How many lessons?
Just the one.
Just the one lesson, right? Just one lesson.
Like it.
Right, just one lesson, right? She doesn't like to commit too heavily on these things up front. So we're here to have one lesson. It's been quite a few months, years since I've hit a golf ball. Tracy vaguely remembers hitting a golf ball once.
Long time ago.
Apparently she was told she was a natural, so we'll see how that pays out. Anyway, I will see you on the course, on the range, on the putting field. I don't know, wherever, I know what it's called, it's just wherever we're going to end up for lesson number one. Anyway, hope you'll have a good day. Do you know what, I've just noticed it, the car park is fucking full.
It is.
So here's the thing, right, when everyone else is working in the world, the super successful are sitting at the golfing course. So I've just looked at the car park and it's like the rich and famous. So I'm assuming that all those wealthy people are out there hitting balls right now.
Just like us.
Just like us. Good life, innit? Just heading back to the car as there was a little bit of an administration misunderstanding. Thus is the nature in Newbury where we have two Donington hotels side by side. We ended up at the wrong one. Anyway, I will see you at the right one in just a minute. Okay, so we are take two at the Donington Hotel, and the same thing again, just parked up. We can barely get a parking space at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because I think I've got a lot of flexibility in my working. Golf isn't anything I've really played for a long time, and I've never been in the golf scene. But honestly, I'm looking here, BMWs, Range Rovers, Teslas, Jaguars. This is where the people are who are obviously successful. They're all on the golf course on a Friday morning. Love it, don't you? Anyway, maybe we should start networking here. And they say, don't they, that a third of all business or half of all business or whatever, big business is done on the golf course. I can see why. Anyway, let's swing some clubs. Okay, so that was an awesome way of starting the day. It's actually heaving down there. In their defence, I found out there was a charity event, thus why Elvis was in the building or in the clubhouse. Anyway, so a couple of lessons from golf today which you can relate to your business, and that is you need to focus on the things that's going to give you the best results. So I must be honest with you, I have played golf in the past, nothing serious, just used to go and smash some balls around, and it was all vanity stuff, you know. I used to just, you know, go to driving range, just hit as far and as hard as I could, go to the golf, do a round of golf, and literally it was all about the drive, all about, you know, the big shots and everything else. And of course I've gone there today, and our golf coach has got us putting and pitching and putting and pitching and putting and pitching, because basically that's what the whole game is built off the back of. Okay, she said the same thing, which is you have to putt every round, right? Every hole you have to putt. Okay, and the game is won or lost in the putting. I'm paraphrasing. If you're into golf, I apologise for the crudity of my passing on the information. But the bottom line is really simple. It came back to me about this idea of being effective and efficient in business and in life, which is you want to focus your time and your effort on those things that give you the greatest rewards, and they aren't always the things that give you the greatest emotional rewards. In other words, hitting a long drive, 200 yards plus, whatever, very emotionally rewarding. However, actually, that's not what's going to win you a round of golf, right? It's going to come down to that little putting, the little pitching. It's the basics. And I keep saying in business, drill the basics, the basics, the basics. When I used to do all the martial arts and used to do kickboxing myself, but also used to coach kickboxing and everything else, your fighters, your serious fighters, they just drill the basics, drill the basics, drill the basics. You're conditioning your footwork, your punching, your jab cross. Do you know what I mean? It's the basics over and over and over again. That's what actually separates professionals from amateurs, or even what I sometimes say, a little bit rudely, professionals and tourists. And in golf, I was definitely a tourist, going in there, just smashing loads of balls. And, if I got one good one in, lucky one, I'd consider it a good round of golf. And today, actually, having not played golf for like 10 years or something, coming back in there, my mindset is completely different to where I was there. And I totally understand what she's saying. And it's completely and utterly relatable to business. It's basics, basics, basics. Focus on the things that are ultimately going to win you the game. It might not be necessarily what feels the most fun. Does that make sense? That's what's important. You do what you need to do to get the biggest results. If you keep focusing on your business and your life like that, by the way, you're going to shoot up. Anyway, Elvis has left the building. I am going to come back here with a quick spot of lunch, and then we are on with the rest of the afternoon. I am not here. I'm heading somewhere else, but I'll tell you about that in just a bit. Hope you have an awesome day. I'll check in with you in just a bit. Okay, so this has got to be literally the shortest holiday vacation ever. When I say shortest, I don't mean in terms of timescale, I mean in terms of distance, because I have literally come 5 minutes or less up the road to spend the next couple of days here at the hotel. Main reason being, Tracy's got some friends coming over to the house. They want their time together. If I'm honest, I don't think I was particularly welcome. But I'll get over it. So I checked myself into this hotel, got myself a nice little suite, treated myself, gonna hit the gym, hit the pool, and be weighted on hand and foot for the next 48 hours while they can do whatever it is that they wanna do. And I'm also gonna be super duper productive. I'm gonna be doing working as well. I'm probably going to catch up with some Netflix. You know it's like, you've got to do it every now and again. Anyway, so a little bit of a pamper couple of days for me to soothe my hurt feelings over not wanting to, or not wanted to be around the house for a couple of days. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Hope you are making this Friday count. If you're working on a normal clock, there's only about another hour or so to go. If you're working on the entrepreneurial clock like me, I've got about 7 hours to go until I pack up shop today. Anyway, have an awesome day. I'll check in with you in just a minute. Okay, so first on the agenda, I'm gonna crack on with some planning, get some work done. Got some snagging, so much snagging in life, all those little jobs that are hanging around that kind of weigh on your shoulders a little bit and weigh in the back of your mind a little bit. So I'm gonna get some snagging done. Got to crack on and get some planning done. A lot of things to plan for next week. I've also got to reach out and make a few connections as well today. But a little observation. When me and Trace came to this hotel, probably about 2 years ago, maybe a bit longer, 2.5, probably about 2 years ago. And we came here to get away from home and have like a working retreat, if you want to call it that, for 2 nights. Came here for a good couple of days, solid work, working on our business plans, etc. for the year ahead. And we treated ourselves to this room. It's either this room or the one next door, I can't remember, but it's really close to here. The view's very similar. And what was interesting is that felt so incredibly indulgent back then. Like, honestly, it was like such a massive indulgence to go for a suite as opposed to just going for a double room, for example. And whilst this is definitely a treat, right, I've definitely indulged myself by splashing out for the suite. I'm gonna be honest with you, what's nice about it is this feels kind of normal now. And that's a real indication that you're kind of leveling up in terms of your life, okay? So when something feels new and original, like when you buy a new car, for example, and it might be your dream car, for the first, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months even, it feels like kind of really special. It feels kind of like noticeably like, oh my God, here I am in my car. After maybe 6 months, 12 months or whatever, it starts to feel normal. That's a really good sign, by the way. You still want to appreciate what you got. You still want to feel gratitude for what you've got, but it's a really good sign. What it means is that starting to become normal for you. What that means is your expectations are starting to rise. You're getting used to that kind of way of living, etc. So when it comes to things like this, for example, when I come here, and whilst it's definitely still a bit of a treat, and you know I've splashed out a little bit to come here, it doesn't feel anywhere near the same. Back then, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe we spent all this money. Honestly, right? It's not that great a place, but that's what it felt like just 2 years ago. Right now, it just felt like I could have a normal room or I could have a nice room. You know what? I'll treat myself and get a nice room. Makes sense? Feels much more normal. Feels much more like this is where I should be. This is where I'm meant to be. That's a really good sign, okay? So take a little reflection on your life. If you start to feel like maybe you're not making that progress you think you are, if that makes sense, have a little reflection back a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. Look at what's in your life now that maybe wasn't in your life back then, and ask yourself how normal it might feel right now. I'm going to bet, right, for most people, when they look back, if you're on that career path, if you're pushing your business, etc., if you're really into like your growth and your personal development, when you look back just over 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, you'll see how what might have felt unique, different, big, scary just then, now becomes kind of normal. If you're a speaker, for example, when you speak to 10 people, you might crap yourself. Then what happens is you might go up to 30, 40, 50 people, and then that starts to feel normal. You might go up to 100, 200, that feels normal. When you're a massive speaker, you might end up with thousands of people in a room, and that starts to feel normal. When you reflect back and you look at when you had 50 people in a room, you're thinking, oh my God, that was massive, and now 500 people is normal to you. It's a really good sign of leveling up. Never stop being grateful, never stop appreciating what you have in life, but you really do. You want what is special today and what's big today and massive today to feel normal and ordinary in 12 months from now. If you're doing that, I'll tell you now, you are constantly leveling up. Just an observation being back here a couple of years later, but also an observation across many areas of my life. And it does, in fact, if anything, it makes you more grateful, makes you more appreciative. Does this make sense? Don't ever lose touch with what you have. Don't ever, stop feeling grateful that you can come and spend a bit extra and have a sweet, or you can spend a bit extra on a nice car, or you can spend a bit extra on a nice holiday. Don't ever take that for granted, but you want it to feel normal. Hopefully you're seeing the balance between those two things. Anyway, I better go on with some work. I can't talk to you all day long. I'll check in just a little bit. Tell you what, you have got to love a hotel gym, haven't you? We invest all that money and nobody uses it. But you got to love a gym when it's empty. Got it all to myself, can do what I want. Which happens to just be some bench pressing, but it could be anything I wanted. Have a good one. Okay, so excuse the sweat, but just did my first run in, I don't know, probably like 2 years or something. It's just been bike really this year so far. So yeah, a little bit sweaty. Go and get lunch, back up to the room. I'm gonna knock on some work. Actually, I've been super productive actually. And there's something to be said for this. I call them working retreats. Someone in my mastermind called them a workation, which is basically where you get out of the house, you get out of the office, you take yourself away on your own and just knuckle down with work. So at least twice a year, I like to get out of the country and work on some bigger projects. But this weekend's been great, just 2 days, really focused on what I need to get done, no distractions, nobody else's agenda, it's just me, a room service, and then just getting on and cracking on. Highly recommend them, by the way, whether you call them a working retreat or like the member of my mastermind, a workation, definitely give them a go and see how productive you can be. Anyway, I'm gonna get something to eat, have a shower, and then on with the work.